Caitlan Clark. Everyone has heard of her now. Huge sports star, elevating the WNBA. And yet, there's been some drama. There's been some perceived hatred going on here and some backlash because Caitlan Clark is so popular and others' feelings are hurt. Caitlan Clark comes into the WNBA having been a huge star in college, breaking records. The ladies' college basketball, the ratings were better than the men's this year. Why? Caitlan Clark. And she comes into the WNBA. Everything is kind of rosy, taking photos with the other ladies who got drafted. But then comes her endorsement deals, making millions. Then come the fans and the ratings. Everyone is watching because of Caitlan Clark, who I am going to start calling CC. All right? CC is getting some hate from, it's all jealousy, if you ask me. Everyone keeps talking about all the WNBA players, many of them, don't want to say all, many, and then the commentators who follow it. It's like they're trying to protect their little bubble, their little thing they got going, and somebody comes in, brings in new fans, and it's like they don't want new fans. They only want a certain type of fan. And it's crazy bizarre because Caitlan Clark doesn't fit the stereotype in a degree. You know, you look at her here. She looks like some college co-ed. She does not look like an all-star basketball player in a women's league. It's deceptive. And I think that's what normal kids, and let's be honest, white girls all across the country can, relate to. They always talk about in the whole DEI inclusion, like people want to see themselves, right? They want to see themselves. That's what they say in movies. Oh, they're not representative. Little kids, the Little Mermaid had to be black because all the black girls, they never see themselves in these princesses. Now they're included, right? So logic, if that's true, the logic has to follow that Caitlan Clark is immensely popular because there's a lot of girls, white girls who play basketball who now see themselves in Caitlan Clark, superstar, guard. There's been other players, granted, other great players in the WNBA, but for whatever reason, and this is how it always happens. There's no rhyme or reason to it. In some cases, she's likable and she's a great player, but then sometimes you just catch lightning in a bottle and it happens, okay? And so Caitlan Clark has been taking on this heat from, again, in my opinion, undeserved heat from players, analysts from the WNBA. She didn't get selected to the Olympic team, which is ridiculous. They would have made so much money on the jersey sales alone. Caitlan Clark's Olympic jersey would have sold out. Whoever is making these decisions is, find the adjective that is a synonym for dumb and use them all. Okay? WNBA loses money from its inception. And yet this is the mentality that folks who don't actually have to make money, when you're a part of an organization that doesn't have to actually be profitable, that doesn't actually have to make money and pay bills because you're subsidized, everything is taken care of for you, there's never any urgency to do better, to actually become profitable. What incentive do most of the people involved in WNBA who've been in this league for 20 years, losing hundreds of millions of dollars, they all cash their checks. They all get paid. Son of a bitch. They all They all still cash their checks. They all get paid, whether it loses money or not. All right. And so there's been this angle that says, why are these WNBA players doing this when Caitlan Clark's just going to bring more exposure, which means more money and this and that? The fact of the matter is they're happy with what they're making. They're happy in their own little bubble. They don't want new people in. I mean, that's got to be the only explanation for this. It's that, or what is the dirty secret, the dirty little secret that most people already realize and know, is that it's human nature. You have all these women who've been in the league, been participating for years and years and years. Nobody watches. Then comes along one individual that is just getting all the praise, and it's human nature to be jealous, to be envious, to be mad about that. All right. And you saw this a little bit. I feel like Caitlan Clark is getting the Tim Tebow treatment, and she's getting it way worse. But if you recall, Tim Tebow, when he also was a massive college star, Heisman Trophy winner, huge following. He was arguably a more popular college player than he was, and more successful for sure, in college, but it translated into the NFL. He went to the NFL, and even though he was a mediocre NFL prospect, not a good NFL quarterback, his NFL jersey sold out. People loved him. People went to the Denver Bronco football games who probably had never been before to see Tim Tebow. You had fans all over the country who watched Denver games because they wanted to see Tim Tebow. And there was some backlash. There was some hate, some quote unquote, undeserved attention. And this was going on for Tim Tebow, who was a below average player in a huge league full of superstars that everybody pays attention to. Now, imagine the same thing is kind of going on, but in a league where there are no real household name superstars. You think in your own mind you're the superstar of the league. You're the all-stars of the league, and yet you're not famous or popular or making a lot of money. And then comes along some young girl, truth be told, some white straight chick who comes along and now all of a sudden is making all this money, and that's all everybody wants to talk about. Let's be truthful. It's hate. It's just hate. People are jealous. People are mad about it. And instead of riding the wave, a rising tide lifts all boats. Instead of going with, cliche after cliche, instead of riding with that, they're tearing her down. They're tearing her down. And it's a shame, because when Tiger Woods came into golf, it was a huge boon and a boom. The game grew, more people came into it, more people who didn't watch before. And I guarantee you, there were some probably golf snobs who didn't like the extra attention, who probably didn't like the new faces at the tournaments. But, oh well, that change, things happen. That's how sports evolve and grow. All right. And I don't remember the backlash. And here was a person of color coming into a white person's, vast majority white person sport, and he was embraced and loved. Tiger Woods, transcends race when it comes to golf and his popularity and his greatness. And I don't know. I mean, that's how I hope this works out for Caitlan. This is how I hope people see it for what it is. You all these arguments about, oh, because she's white, because she's straight, because she's, you know, Caitlan Clark isn't winning any beauty contests, right? She's your average white Midwestern girl, man. Good for her. You know what I'm saying? Great, good for her. Her and her boyfriend look super happy. He looks like a good-looking dude, and in that photo, they look like a very good-looking couple. All right, so I'm happy for them, but what I'm not happy about is the hate. There's no. It reminds me of Bone Thugs and Harmony when they came out with the hater, hater, hate nation. Hey, there's haters, bro. There's always gonna be haters from the dawn of time to the end of time. And let's agree that there's a reason why Bravo Housewives, drama-filled shows get good ratings, and I guarantee you Bravo Housewives is 90% women audience. But they don't watch women. Those same women could be watching the WNBA. They're not. They're not. All right? And so I'll leave you with that. Caitlan Clark, wish you well. Tim Tebow, you were the man. You still are. I'm a fan. CC, keep your head up. I have a feeling they're gonna get her on the Olympic team. The executives, the people who actually who want to get good ratings on the Olympics, they're gonna make it happen. You heard it here first on Jamin's Daily. Like, smash the subscribe button, and stay tuned. Find me on Facebook. Let's be friends. And stay tuned because the best is yet to come.